And welcome. We are going to be looking at how campaign finance and the regulations that go with it play a role in the modern election process. And many of these slides have hyperlinks to videos, some humorous, some informational, some combination of them that kind of explain different parts of this process. Definitely check them out if you are able to. So you take a look at this first slide, and as you can see, the main image here are stacks of money. And what do you notice about the stack that has a 1 next to it? That stack has the most money. Oftentimes, whether it's fair or not, modern campaigns are judged and assessed based on how much money they have raised. That's part of it. The big part that we're going to be looking at is just the fact that there are so many people and so many groups spending money. In 2008, the last time we had a presidential race, $1.3 billion was spent by the candidates themselves. And as you see throughout the years, the number has just gone higher and higher and higher almost every year. This is an interesting set of data from opensecret.org, and as you can see, this doesn't include just candidate spending. It includes party spending, 527 spending, and any other independent expenditure spending from an election year. So that $1.3 billion, that was just from Obama and McCain. In 2008, you also had outside groups that spent over $5 billion. Quite a large amount of money. Why do you think the spending dips in 2002 versus 04 versus 2000 and in 2006 versus 04 and 2008? Yeah, those are midterm elections, and because the president was not running, there isn't as much attention to the process as we've studied, and not as much money as donated. However, $2 billion is still a lot of money. Just to put the cost in more perspective, this is some data from 2008, and we've seen this data before, and it just shows you how much money Obama has raised versus McCain at a given point. And the amount isn't what is important to me, is what you should know. I mean, it is important, but if you take a look just how much money Obama had versus McCain. It's just a tremendous amount more. And the most important part, I would also argue, more than the money, was just look at how much money each spent on media and advertising. In each campaign, it is the biggest part of where their money's going. And we've talked about this, how ads cost lots of money. You have to produce them, you have to make them, you have to play them over and over again on TV stations. None of that is cheap. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in this next cycle, how much money the Republican candidate and Obama spend. Okay, so the hardest and most challenging part of the campaign finance regulation is just the vocabulary that's involved. And if you're in my class, I gave you a handout that's based on a lot of information from the New York Times, Open Secrets, and a lot of other great websites. Hard money and soft money, these terms have been around for a while. Hard money is money given directly to candidates, lots of regulations there. Soft money is something that used to be legal at the national level, but right now it is not because of the famous McCain, the Feingold-McCain law, the Bipartisan Campaign Reform Act of 2002. No longer can people donate unlimited amounts of monies to parties. Political action committees, PACs, we've talked about them. They can raise up to $5,000 and give out $5,000 in a given election to a given candidate. Independent expenditures, these are any type of group that's spending money independent, without any coordination with a candidate. A PAC can be an independent expenditure. A PAC doesn't, it can be a coordinated expenditure. It depends. 527s, 501s, and super PACs, these are all examples of modern independent expenditures. 527s came out of the McCain-Feingold law, not, you know, it wasn't the cause. The McCain-Feingold law didn't specifically say 527s are now existing. 527s became the latest and greatest loophole for non-coordinated groups to, put out good or bad information about candidates. We've talked about 527s in the past, how in 527s you cannot specifically tell people to vote or not vote. However, when you watch 527 ads, it's pretty, easy to understand what people want you to, support. 501s, another independent expenditure. They're a tax-exempt group like 527s. They cannot give money directly to candidates either. They cannot give money or coordinate with parties and candidates as well. And what's interesting about them is that they can promote candidates compared to 527s. Super PACs are the latest and greatest creation to bypass all the campaign finance laws. These are a kind of PAC that came out of the FEC United court case in 2010, and these are groups that can spend unlimited amounts of money promoting or demoting a candidate, but they cannot advocate for or against a candidate by their name as a way of saying vote or don't vote. They can donate unlimited amounts of money, and we'll learn more about them in class. This is a cartoon that I would recommend you spend a little bit of time at. It's a really simple political cartoon, and as you can see, you have the 527 groups, and they're using these attack ads. And this cartoon, I believe, was when John Kerry was running for president in 2004. 527s were really popular then. As you can see, these 527 groups were very, very they had a lot of influence using these attack ads to persuade people. They always weren't very truthful, and that's what this cartoon is trying to say. Definitely check out. This is an ad of the group. They called it the Swift Boating of John Kerry. These Swift boat veterans that ran these ads making negative statements about Kerry and his service during the Vietnam War. The Daily Show back in, I think, 04, 06 does a really good job of explaining 527s with a humorous twist, as you all know by now. This is another cartoon I would definitely spend some time looking at. It's making fun of 527s, and it's really good symbolism here. The high road, you can take the high road or you can go the low road with independent attack ads on Route 527. You get it? Ha ha ha. So keyword there, independent. 527s are independent of candidates. This is just some more information about 527s and how much money they have received. This goes up to 2008, 2010, and you'll notice between 04 and 08 there is a little bit of a dip because 527s were not as popular. Obama was really promoting his supporters, instead of donating to 527s, to donate to him or the Democratic Party in small amounts. Maybe that's why. Nevertheless, $500 million was donated to 527s in 2008. The question of all this is, so if you have lots of money, does it guarantee you win? And the answer is not always. Not always. Mitt Romney in 2008 spent large amounts of his own money, didn't become the Republican nominee. Maybe he will in 2012. Ross Perot spent lots of his billions into 1992 and 1996. He did not win. He did win a substantial percent of the popular vote. However, he did not win any of the electoral votes. So money doesn't always determine whether you win or not. A big issue to look at right now, unless something changes, is the economy. And the economy is really one of the most important factors that determine how people vote. If the economy is doing good, bad, that has a big impact on how people vote. Sometimes it's the political party, if the party's popular or negative at a given point as well. And if you go back to the 2000 election after the whole Clinton impeachment scandal, his sexual escapades, character once in a while can be a very big issue, usually with people who have shady pasts, to put it politely. Great court case that's come out. Not a great court case, it depends on your opinion, but a great video about a court case, the Citizens United versus FEC. I mentioned it earlier. These are where super PACs have their origin, kind of like Superman came from Krypton. Well, super PACs have come from this court case, Citizens United versus the FEC. This is a video, a PBS video from the PBS NewsHour that explains the precedents, the rules, the events that have come out of this decision. Definitely spend some time looking at it. You have to know the precedents of this case for your exam, for your quiz, and who knows, maybe the AP exam in May. This is a cartoon that pokes fun at the FEC United, Citizens United versus FEC court case. And as you can see, the guys are reading the newspaper. Supreme Court lifts ban on corporate political ads. Corporations, unions can now donate unlimited amounts of their own money. This isn't PAC money. This is money that they have in their treasury, and they can put out ads, positive or negative, about candidates, as long as they are not coordinating with candidates. And as this cartoon is saying, you're seeing a lot more commercials, negative commercials from this court case. And this is just a really cool chart. I know it might be a little bit hard to see. This is from the New York Times, and it just does an interesting perspective on how people versus corporations and union can donate their money. As you can see, there are many places you can do with your money. 527, super PACs, federal PACs, those are the PACs we've been studying. You can donate to the parties at a limited amount, and then all the arrows and details kind of explain if it's limited, if it's unlimited, and just all the details that go along with that. Definitely spend some time checking that out from the New York Times. Well, I hope this helped. I know some of you were at an assembly today, and I wanted you to be able to kind of have some type of guidance in going over campaign finance. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask.